The massive ships of the Xeraxian fleet hovered above Earth like storm clouds ready to burst. Everyone knew what this meant. Humanity had lost the war against the technologically superior aliens. After 3 years of fighting the remaining human, forces surrendered to the mighty Xeraxian Empire. It was either that, or face complete destruction. Queen Nylara, ruler of the Xeraxians, stood tall at 8 feet, her skin a shimmering purple with bioluminescent markings that pulsed with her emotions. Her forearms crossed over her armored chest as she gazed down at the small group of human soldiers brought before her on her flagship. Her head was adorned with a crest of spines that glowed softly in the dim light of the command chamber. Among the captured soldiers stood Lily Carter, a skilled fighter who had gained fame for her tactical brilliance in several battles against the alien forces. She stood straight. Despite her exhaustion, her brown eyes meeting the alien queen's gaze without fear. While other soldiers looked down at the metallic floor, Lily stared directly at Nylara, studying the alien monarch with the same intensity with which she was being studied. The queen approached, examining the humans with curiosity. She had never been this close to the species that had managed to hold off her forces longer than any other civilization they had conquered in the last century. Most races surrendered within months, some within days. But humans fought for years despite their technological disadvantage. You fought well, Queen Nylara said, her translator converting her clicks and hisses into English. For such a primitive species, your resistance was impressive. Few have earned the respect of the Xeraxian Empire as your kind has. The soldiers remained silent, but Lily continued to hold the queen's gaze. Something in her expression caught Nylara's attention. The queen sensed no fear in this human-only calculation and perhaps a hint of defiance. You. The queen pointed at Lily with one of her lower arms. Remove your armor. The other human soldiers tensed, but Lily slowly began unfastening her battle-worn armor, revealing her standard military uniform beneath. The queen circled her, studying the human with growing interest. Nylara's upper eyes narrowed while her lower ones widened, a sign of intense focus among her kind. You led the attack on our base at what you call Antarctica. It wasn't a question, but a statement of recognition. I did, Lily replied simply, her voice steady. That attack destroyed 3 of our carrier ships and killed 2,000 of my soldiers. The queen stopped directly in front of Lily. How did you penetrate our shields? No other species has managed such a feat. Human ingenuity, Lily answered, a small smile playing on her lips. We analyzed the energy patterns and found a frequency that created harmonic resonance with your shield generators. The queen laughed, a strange sound like crystal wind chimes. Fascinating, your species continues to surprise me. She turned to her guards, massive beings with similar features to their queen but with duller coloration, and only 2 arms. Take the others to holding. I wish to speak with this one alone. One of the human soldiers, a young man with short blonde hair, stepped forward. Commander, you can't. It's okay, Alan, Lily said calmly. Follow their orders. After the other soldiers were escorted out, Nylara gestured for Lily to follow her. The human hesitated, but realized she had little choice. They walked through corridors lined with strange pulsing technology until they reached what appeared to be the queen's private chamber. The walls were lined with what looked like living metal that shifted colors in response to the queen's proximity. My scientists tell me humans are remarkably adaptable, Nylara said as the door closed behind them. Is this true? Lily nodded. We survive, it's what we do best. Yet you lost this war. We were outmatched, not outfought, Lily replied with quiet dignity. Your technology is centuries beyond ours. That we lasted 3 years speaks to our adaptability. The queen's upper eyes narrowed while her lower ones blinked rapidly, a sign of amusement in her species. Interesting distinction. Most conquered species blame their failures on bad luck or betrayal. You acknowledge the reality yet still maintain pride. Nylara moved to a control panel and activated a holographic display showing Earth rotating slowly, a beautiful blue marble suspended in the darkness of space. Various points on the planet were marked with glowing red indicators. Your planet is rich in resources we need, Nylara said, her voice neither threatening nor apologetic, simply matter of fact. But unlike other worlds we have conquered, I find myself reluctant to strip it bare. Lily felt a spark of hope, though she was careful not to let it show too plainly. Why? Because of specimens like you. Nylara turned her gaze back to Lily. Your resilience, your creativity, your defiance, even in defeat. These are qualities the Xeraxian Empire values. She gestured at the hologram, which shifted to show various scenes of human achievement. Your art, your music, your endless drive to explore. Despite your limitations, we have conquered 100 worlds and found nothing quite like humanity. What are you suggesting? Lily asked carefully, not daring to believe what she was hearing. An alliance. Nylara said simply. Instead of conquerors, we could be partners. The alien queen approached a food synthesizer, embedded in the wall, and pressed several controls. 2 glasses filled with a glowing blue liquid emerged. She offered one to Lily, who hesitated before accepting it. My species has ruled alone for millennia. Nylara continued her bioluminescent patterns, shifting to a calmer blue hue. But we grow stagnant. Without challenge, without new perspectives, we will eventually fade. It is the way of all empires that cease to evolve. Lily looked at the drink in her hand, scanning it for any obvious dangers. Before taking a small sip, it tasted strangely like honey and mint. Your people would accept this, a partnership with a species you just defeated. My people follow where I lead, Nylara said confidently. And I see the potential in yours especially, in individuals like you. Lily couldn't hide her surprise. You want to work with us after all the destruction your fleet caused, after all the humans who died fighting you. War is how we evaluate potential allies, Nylara explained, as if discussing something as simple as the weather. Your species proved worthy. Those who surrender without fighting are not worth our time. Those who fight but are easily defeated are not worthy of respect. But those who fight against overwhelming odds with creativity and determination, those are the allies the Empire needs. The alien queen moved to a viewport that showed Earth below. I need someone who understands both humans and strategy to help forge this new relationship. And you chose me. You destroyed 3 carriers with inferior technology and a handful of fighters, Nylara said with something that sounded almost like admiration. That requires the kind of thinking our empire needs. Lily considered the offer carefully. It seemed impossible that, after years of brutal war, the alien queen would propose peace. But the alternative was likely the enslavement or extinction of humanity. She had to at least explore this possibility. If I agree, what happens to Earth? She asked, setting her drink aside. Your people maintain autonomy under Xeraxian protection. You gain access to our technology medicine knowledge, Nylara explained, walking back toward Lily. In return, we gain access to your resources, creativity, and the right to establish bases on your world. And if I refuse? The queen's bioluminescent patterns darkened slightly, a subtle threat. Then I find another human to work with, and the terms may be less favorable. Lily took a deep breath, weighing her limited options. I want guarantees, safety for my people, restoration of our cities. Nylara nodded, her head crest rippling with the motion. Acceptable terms, you understand I must maintain my authority, my people expect conquest. Then present it as one. Lily suggested, her tactical mind already working on the problem. Tell them you conquered us so thoroughly we now serve willingly. The alien's patterns brightened with interest. Political understanding, too. You continue to impress me, Lily Carter. For the first time since her capture, Lily allowed herself to feel something beyond grim determination. There was a chance, a real chance, that humanity might not only survive but thrive under this new arrangement. When do we start? She asked. We already have. Queen Nylara replied, her forearms gesturing to encompass the ship, the Earth, and perhaps the future itself. The new era begins now. Over the next several weeks, Lily worked closely with Queen Nylara, drafting terms for humanity's incorporation into the Xeraxian Empire. The Queen proved surprisingly reasonable, willing to compromise on many points that Lily insisted were essential for human dignity and autonomy. They spent hours each day in what Lily now knew was called the Strategic Chamber, a room designed specifically for planning and negotiation. The walls could transform into any display the Queen requested, from star maps to resource charts to cultural archives. "Your medical technology will be distributed first," Lily insisted, pointing to a holographic map of Earth showing major population centers. "Too many are suffering from injuries sustained during the war." Nylara made a gesture with her upper right arm, and the map zoomed in on several red zones. "These areas were most heavily damaged during our final assault. I will dispatch healing ships to these regions immediately." Lily nodded gratefully. "And the food. Synthesizers. We have shortages in many regions. The technology requires specific minerals to function properly." Nylara explained, her lower eyes blinking thoughtfully. "We will need to establish processing facilities near your major cities, as long as they employ human workers," Lily countered. "Our people need purpose, not just charity." The Queen's bioluminescent patterns shifted to an approving green. "You understand the psychology of your species well. Most conquered races simply beg for resources without considering the broader implications." During their negotiations, Lily learned more about Xeraxian culture. Their society was matriarchal, with females larger and stronger than males. The queens were chosen not by birth, but by proving themselves in battle and intelligence tests. Each potential queen had to defeat the current monarch in ritual combat or demonstrate superior strategic thinking in a series of complex tests. Males in their society focused on science arts and child rearing, while females dominated military and government positions. It was a complete reversal of many human cultural norms throughout history. Nylara, in turn, became fascinated by human customs, and especially by Lily herself. The Queen often requested Lily's presence even when not discussing treaty matters. They shared meals where Lily cautiously tried alien foods, and Nylara sampled human cuisine, specially prepared to be compatible with Xeraxian biology. "Your species forms pair bonds based on emotion, rather than genetic optimization," Nylara observed one evening as they dined in her private chamber. "Fascinating, we call it love," Lily explained, taking a sip of water. "It's not always practical, but it's powerful." "We have no equivalent," Nylara said, examining a piece of fruit. "Our mating is calculated for genetic diversity and strength, though I find myself experiencing unusual neural patterns when working with you," the Queen admitted. "My scientists suggest prolonged exposure to humans may affect our biochemistry." Lily smiled. "We might be rubbing off on you." "Perhaps." The Queen seemed thoughtful. "Is it true that humans sometimes form these bonds with members of their own gender without reproductive purpose?" "Yes," Lily replied. "Love isn't just about reproduction for us, it's about connection, companionship." "Intriguing," Nylara said, her patterns shifting to colors Lily had not seen before. "In my species, females only interact with males for reproduction. Otherwise, we prefer the company of other females for intellectual stimulation." One day, Lily received permission to visit the other human soldiers who had been captured with her. They were being held in comfortable quarters, not prison cells as she had feared. Alan, the young soldier who had protested when Lily was separated from the group, rushed forward when she entered. "Commander," he exclaimed, relief evident in his voice. "You're alive, we feared the worst." "I'm fine," Lily assured him and the others. "Better than fine. Actually, I've been negotiating terms for humanity's future." She explained the developing alliance and was met with skeptical looks. "How can we trust them?" asked Maria, a tough sergeant, who had fought alongside Lily in several battles. "They destroyed half our cities, killed millions, and we killed thousands of them," Lily countered. "War is never clean. But now we have a chance for peace, real peace and advancement." "Sounds like surrender to me," grumbled another soldier. "Think of it as survival," Lily said firmly. "With the potential for much more, we can learn from them, grow stronger, eventually become true equals." Alan studied her face. "You've changed, Commander. You actually believe in this alliance." "I do." Lily realized she meant it. "Queen, Nylara could have stripped our planet bare, enslaved us all. Instead, she's offering partnership. Or she's manipulating you, Maria suggested. Using our most decorated commander as a puppet to pacify the rest of humanity, Lily shook her head. No, one's puppet. The terms I'm negotiating include complete autonomy for Earth under Xeraxian protection. We get their medical technology, food production systems, defensive capabilities. In return, they get some resources and our creativity. And you trust this queen? Alan asked, his expression softening slightly. Strangely, yes, Lily admitted. She's different from what I expected. More reasonable, more interested in mutual benefit than conquest. After visiting her fellow soldiers, Lily was escorted back to her quarters, which had been upgraded from a simple room to a spacious suite. She found Nylara waiting for her, the queen studying a holographic display of human history. Your visit went well. Again, not a question. They have concerns, Lily said.
Honestly, as would any defeated people, Nylara nodded, her head crest rippling. Natural. You should return to Earth soon. Show your people you are not a prisoner but an ambassador. They need to see you too, Lily suggested. Not just as a conqueror,
but as a potential ally. You wish me to address your leaders? Yes, the United Nations still functions. Despite everything, they represent what remains of human government. The queen considered this, her forearms moving in different patterns a sign. Lily had learned indicated deep thought. It would be unprecedented, a Xeraxian monarch appearing before a conquered species as anything other than a superior. Unprecedented but powerful, Lily argued. It would show both our peoples this is truly different. Later that week, preparations began for their return to Earth. Lily was provided with a Xeraxian uniform modified for human anatomy. It was made of a living material that adjusted to her body temperature and movements. The deep purple color matched the queen's own armor, but with silver accents that Nylara explained marked Lily as a special advisor to the throne. The day before their departure, Lily received an unexpected visitor in her quarters, a male Xeraxian much smaller than the queen, with pale blue skin and only 2 arms. He introduced himself as Corvin, the queen's chief scientist. I wish to meet the human who has so captivated our monarch, he said, his voice higher pitched than Nylara's. Your species is fascinating, but you particularly intrigue her. I'm just doing what I can to ensure humanity's survival, Lily replied, unsure why this scientist would seek her out. It is more than that, Corvin said, his eyes, all 4 of them, studying her intently. In 3,000 cycles, no queen has ever proposed alliance with a conquered species. You have changed something fundamental. Is that a problem? It is an unknown, he replied, and unknowns can be dangerous or beneficial. Queen Nylara has ruled for 700 cycles. She is wise, but this, he gestured at Lily, this is unprecedented. Change often is, Lily said carefully, but that doesn't make it wrong. Corvin made a clicking sound that Lily couldn't interpret. There are factions among our people who believe the old ways are best: conquest, domination, resource extraction. And you, I follow the queen, he said simply. But I caution you, human emotions are contagious, it seems, even to Xeraxians. Before Lily could ask what he meant, Corvin departed, leaving her puzzled by the encounter. She mentioned it to Nylara the next day as their ship entered Earth's atmosphere. Corvin worries too much, the queen said dismissively. It is his nature as a scientist to see problems where I see possibilities. He mentioned factions opposed to our alliance. There will always be those who resist change. Nylara replied, her patterns briefly flashing red. But I am queen, my word is final. Their ship descended toward what had once been Geneva, Switzerland, home of the United Nations, which had survived the war largely intact. The massive Xeraxian vessel caused panic initially, until communications confirmed it was arriving under peaceful terms. As they prepared to disembark, Nylara turned to Lily. Are you ready to change the course of both our people's history? Lily took a deep breath, looking out at her homeworld. Yes, I think I am. The queen placed one of her lower hands on Lily's shoulder, a gesture she had never made before. Then let us begin. The United Nations Assembly Hall fell silent as Queen Nylara entered, followed by Lily. The massive alien monarch had reduced her ceremonial armor to appear less threatening, but still towered over everyone in the room. Her 4 arms were adorned with simple silver bands, and her bioluminescent patterns were set to a calm blue glow. Representatives from all surviving nations watched with a mixture of fear, awe, and suspicion. Many had lost family in the war. Some had seen their cities destroyed. No one had expected to be sitting across from the leader of the invading force discussing peace rather than surrender. Terms Lily felt hundreds of eyes on her, some accusing her of betrayal, others hopeful that her presence meant something positive for humanity. She wore the modified Xeraxian uniform Nylara had given her, which drew even more curious stares. The Secretary General, a tall woman named Eleanor Walsh, approached them. Queen Nylara, on behalf of what remains of Earth's governments, I welcome you to the United Nations. Her voice was steady, but Lily could see the tension in her posture. I accept your welcome, Secretary General Walsh, Nylara replied, her translator converting her words flawlessly, and I thank this assembly for agreeing to meet with me. They were escorted to the central podium, Lily standing slightly behind the Queen as they had agreed. The assembly hall had been modified to accommodate the Queen's larger size, but she still dominated the space, her presence commanding attention. Leaders of Earth. Nylara began, her voice echoing through the chamber. 3 years ago, our civilizations met in conflict. Today we meet to forge a different path. A murmur ran through the crowd. Lily scanned the faces of the representatives, seeing skepticism, disbelief, and thin threads of hope. The Xeraxian Empire has conquered many worlds. The Queen continued, It is our way. It has been for millennia. But your world, your people have shown qualities we have not encountered. Before your resistance, your adaptability, your creativity in the face of superior technology, these are traits the Empire values. She gestured toward Lily. This human commander, Lily Carter, led an attack that destroyed 3 of our most advanced warships, a feat no other species has accomplished. She now stands beside me not as a prisoner but as an advisor. Together we have crafted terms not of surrender but of alliance. The Secretary General stepped forward. Alliance, your forces destroyed. Our cities killed millions of our people, and your forces destroyed our ships, killed thousands of our people. Nylara countered without anger. Such is war. But war is merely how we test the worth of other civilizations. Those who fight well earn respect. Those who surrender easily earn contempt. Your species has earned our highest respect. Lily stepped forward as planned. Madam Secretary, members of the Assembly, Queen, Nylara has proposed terms that will benefit humanity. In exchange for certain resources and established Xeraxian bases on Earth, we gain access to their medical technology, food production systems, defense capabilities, and knowledge accumulated over thousands of years. You expect us to believe this? Called out a representative from what remained of Japan. After everything, I was skeptical too, Lily admitted. But I have seen the Queen's sincerity. I have negotiated terms that protect human autonomy and dignity. This is not surrender. This is survival with the potential for prosperity. The discussions continued for hours. Representatives raised concerns, questions, accusations. Nylara answered each with patience, explaining Xeraxian customs and intentions. Lily provided context, translating alien concepts into human understanding. During a brief recess, Lily found herself confronted by several military leaders, including her former commanding officer, General Patel Carter. What the hell are you doing? The general demanded, keeping his voice low. You're our most decorated commander, and now you're what, an alien collaborator? I'm trying to save what remains of our civilization, Lily replied evenly. We lost, General. You know that they could have wiped us out completely. Instead, they're offering partnership, and you believe them. He looked at her with disappointment. I do, Lily said, meeting his gaze. I've spent weeks with Queen Nylara. I've seen their technology, their capabilities. They don't need to lie to us, General. They could take whatever they want. But they're choosing a different approach. Why you? Asked another officer, Colonel Rivera. Why did they pick you for this role? Because I fought them effectively, Lily explained. The Xeraxians respect strength and ingenuity. The Antarctica operation impressed them. General Patel studied her face. You've changed, Carter. Something about you is different. Perspective changes people. General. Lily said, 3 weeks ago, I was ready to die fighting now. I'm working to ensure humanity not only survives, but thrives. When the session resumed, Queen Nalara activated a holographic display showing the proposed deployment of Xeraxian medical ships and food synthesizers. To everyone's surprise, she also included defensive shield technology to protect major human population centers. These shields will protect your cities from natural disasters and any potential threats, she explained, including threats from other Xeraxian factions should any ever defy my orders. This admission that there might be dissent within the alien ranks caused another stir in the assembly. You admit some of your people might not support this alliance? The Secretary General asked. All societies have those who resist change, Nylara replied. But I am queen. My word is law. And I have chosen this path for my people as you must now choose for yours. After 12 hours of intense discussion, the United Nations Security Council requested time to deliberate privately. Lily and Nylara withdrew to a prepared chamber. To wait. Your leaders are cautious. Nylara observed her patterns shifting to a contemplative purple. They have reason to be, Lily replied, sitting heavily in a chair designed for human anatomy. Trust takes time. Time we have, the Queen said, but the sooner we begin implementation, the sooner your people will see the benefits. Lily looked up at the towering alien queen. You truly believe in this, don't you? It's not just strategy. Nylara was silent for a moment, her 4 eyes studying Lily. I have ruled for 700 cycles. In that time I have conquered 17 worlds, established bases on 40 others, but none have resisted like Earth. None have shown such potential. I believe this alliance will strengthen both our peoples. And those factions Corvin mentioned, the ones who might oppose this, they will see the wisdom of my decision in time, Nylara said with confidence, or they will face the consequences of defiance. 3 hours later, they were called back to the assembly. The Security Council had reached a preliminary decision. They would accept the alliance with certain modifications to the terms, primarily involving oversight of Xeraxian bases on Earth. We accept your terms with these amendments, Secretary General, Walsh announced, and we propose a 6-month trial period after which both sides will reassess. Nylara considered this, her patterns shifting through several colors before settling on a bright blue. Acceptable. Your caution is understandable. The amendments are reasonable. That evening, after the historic agreement was signed, Lily stood on the balcony of the diplomatic residence where they were staying, looking out over the lights of Geneva. The city had been spared the worst of the war, its neutrality respected even by the Xeraxians. She heard the door open behind her, and knew without turning that it was Nylara. The Queen's unique scent, a mixture of something like cinnamon and ozone, had become familiar to her. Your world is beautiful at night, Nylara said, joining her at the railing which creaked slightly under her weight. Yes, it is. Lily agreed. Thank you for sparing it. It was not merely mercy, the Queen admitted. I saw potential from our first encounters. I sensed humanity was different. Different how? Most species we conquer follow predictable patterns, defiance, then fear, then submission. Nylara explained. Humans followed no pattern. Some surrendered immediately, others fought to the last breath, some sought to understand. Us even as we attacked, Lily turned to look at the Queen. And me. What pattern do I follow? Nylara's pattern shifted to a color Lily had never seen before. A deep violet with flecks of gold. You, Commander Lily Carter, follow no known pattern. You destroyed. My ships then stood before me without fear. You negotiate for your species while trying to understand mine. You are an anomaly. Is that good or bad? It is fascinating, Nylara replied. I have lived for 900 of your Earth years. I have seen Much. But you surprise me. Their conversation was interrupted by an urgent communication from the Queen's flagship in orbit. A Xeraxian officer appeared as a hologram from Nylara's wrist device, speaking rapidly in their native language. Lily couldn't understand the words, but the Queen's reaction told her something was wrong. Her patterns flashed crimson and her posture stiffened. "What is it?" Lily asked as the communication ended. "A problem," Nylara replied, her voice tense. "A faction of my fleet has broken from orbit and jumped to hyperspace without authorization. Where are they going? Unknown. But their commander, Xerax Krell, has long opposed any alliance with lesser species." The Queen turned to Lily, her expression grim. "He may seek to undermine our agreement, or worse. We should return to your ship," Lily suggested. "You need to address this directly." "Yes," Nylara agreed. "But first I must speak with your Security Council. This development may affect our arrangement." "I'll arrange it immediately," Lily said, already moving toward the communication terminal inside. Back aboard the Queen's flagship, tension filled the command center. Xeraxian officers moved with urgent purpose, their normally measured movements now quick, and precise reports streamed in from across the fleet, displayed on massive screens that curved around the circular chamber. Queen Nylara stood at the center, her forearms manipulating holographic controls as she issued orders. Her bioluminescent patterns pulsed with rapid colors that Lily had learned indicated both anger and concern. 3. Warships, Nylara said, her voice tight. "Commander Krell has taken 3 warships and approximately 2,000 troops." Lily stood nearby, watching the tactical displays that showed the known galaxy, with Xeraxian territories highlighted in purple. "Do we know where they went?" "Their warp signature indicates they jumped toward the Cygnus arm," reported a female officer, her skin a paler shade of purple than the Queen's. "But they could have changed course after entering hyperspace." "Krell is heading for the mining colonies," Nylara said with certainty. "He will gather support from conservative factions there before returning." Lily studied the star map. "How many ships are at these colonies?" 12 patrollers, several mining vessels." Nylara replied, "Nothing as powerful as a warship." But if the colonial governors join him, she didn't need to finish the thought. The implications were clear. What had begun as a small rebellion could quickly grow into a civil war within the Xeraxian Empire, and Earth, newly allied but still vulnerable, would be caught in the middle. "Your Majesty." Corvin, the scientist Lily had met earlier, entered the command center. "I have analyzed Krell's communication patterns before his departure. He sent encrypted messages to at least 5 other fleet commanders." Nylara's patterns flashed deep red. "Names: commanders Vex Morla, Jul Tarak, and Brenix," Corvin reported. "All conservative traditionalists, all opposed to the Earth Alliance. Have any of them moved?" "Their ships?" "Not yet. But 3 have changed their patrol routes to positions that would allow quick jumps to join Krell." Lily felt a chill run through her. This was worse than she had anticipated. "How many ships do these commanders control?" 15 warships total. Nylara answered, her voice grim. "Nearly a quarter of our main fleet." The Queen turned to her communications officer. "Send encrypted orders to all loyal commanders. Lock weapon systems on the vessels under suspicious commanders. Do not fire unless fired upon, but be prepared." Lily stepped closer to Nylara, speaking quietly. "We need to address the Security Council again. They need to know the situation." The Queen nodded. "Prepare a secure transmission to Earth. Within an hour they were speaking to an emergency session of the UN Security Council." Lily, standing beside Nylara, as they explained the developing crisis. "A faction of the Xeraxian fleet has broken away," Lily explained to the grim-faced human leaders. "Their commander opposes the alliance with Earth." "Are we in immediate danger?" asked Secretary General Walsh. "Not directly," Nylara answered. "Krell's ships have jumped to a distant sector, but the situation is volatile. If more commanders join him, they may return in force." "Then perhaps this alliance was premature," suggested the French representative. "If your own people reject it." My people do not rule by consensus. Nylara said firmly, I am queen. My decision stands, but I cannot deny the danger. As in any society, there are those who resist change. What do you propose? General Patel asked, addressing Lily directly. We accelerate deployment of defensive technology. Lily responded, shield generators for major cities first, then detection systems. We make Earth as secure as possible while Queen Nylara deals with this rebellion. And if she fails? The question hung in the air, unattributed, but acknowledged by all. Lily met the eyes of her former commanders and civilian leaders. Then Earth stands ready as we always have. After the transmission ended, Lily found herself alone with Nylara in the Queen's private chamber. The alien monarch seemed troubled. Her patterns muted her movements less fluid than usual. You didn't tell them everything, Lily observed, about how serious this could become. They have enough to worry about, Nylara replied, and I will resolve this before it threatens Earth. How? The Queen moved to a viewport looking out at the stars. First, I will try diplomacy. Krell has legitimate concerns from his perspective. The Zeraxian way has always been conquest, not alliance. This change frightens him and others. And if diplomacy fails, Nylara's patterns darkened, then I will do what queens have always done. I will fight. Over the next several days, Nylara deployed additional ships to Earth, placing them in defensive formations while sending others to track Krell's movements. Lily worked with human military leaders to coordinate the deployment of alien shield technology to major cities, starting with those most vulnerable to attack. The work kept her busy, but her mind frequently returned to the Queen. Their relationship had evolved beyond formal alliance into something like friendship. Though Lily suspected there were cultural nuances she still didn't understand. One evening, as they reviewed defense plans, Lily noticed Nylara seemed distracted. What's troubling you beyond the obvious? The Queen was silent for a moment, her patterns shifting slowly. In 900 years, I have never doubted a decision until now. You regret the alliance? No, Nylara said quickly, her upper eyes focusing on Lily. I question my timing, perhaps my approach, but not the alliance itself. The more I learn of humanity, the more certain I am of its value. Then what troubles you? The cost. Nylara admitted. If this escalates to civil war, many Zeraxians will die. Many humans too, perhaps. All because I saw something in your species. Something worth changing our ways for. Lily moved closer, to the Queen. Meaningful change always has a cost. The question is whether it's worth paying. And is it Lily Carter? Nylara's four eyes studied her intently. Is this alliance worth the lives it may cost? I can't answer that for you, Lily replied. Honestly, I can only tell you what I believe, that humanity and Zeraxians working together could create something greater than either could alone. That cooperation might be better than conquest in the long run. The Queen's patterns shifted to a gentle blue. Your wisdom surprises me still. You speak not as a defeated soldier, but as a true ally. Their moment was interrupted by an urgent alert. Corvin appeared on the communication screen. Your Majesty, Commander Krell has reappeared. He brings not 3 but 7 warships. They have dropped out of hyperspace near Earth's moon. Nylara turned to Lily, her expression resolute. It seems diplomacy will not be an option after all. Within minutes, they were in the command center watching as Krell's ships took up attack positions. Their weapons were powered but not yet firing. He awaits my response, Nylara said. As is tradition, a challenge to the Queen must be acknowledged before battle begins. Can we defeat 7 warships? Lily asked, studying the tactical display. We have 5 in Earth's orbit, Nylara replied. The battle would be costly on both sides. A communication request flashed on the main screen. Nylara nodded, and the image of Commander Krell appeared. A male Zeraxian, his skin darker. Then the Queen's almost indigo with sharp angular patterns across his face. Queen Nylara, he began, his voice deep and harsh. I, Commander Krell, challenge your decision regarding the planet Earth. The Xeraxian Empire does not ally with lesser species. We conquer, we rule, such has been our way for 10,000 cycles. Our ways evolve, Commander. Nilara replied, her voice steady. As must we all, Earth has proven its worth. By being defeated, Krell scoffed. You disgrace your throne, your ancestors would be ashamed. My ancestors did not face the challenges I face, Nilara countered. The Empire has conquered 100 worlds, yet we face stagnation. Our advance is slow, our culture grows rigid. Earth offers new perspectives, new ideas. They offer weakness. Krell snarled. And you embrace it, influenced by this human. He gestured toward Lily, the great queen bewitched by a primitive creature. Lily remained silent, knowing this was between Nilara and her subordinate. Any intervention from her would only strengthen Krell's position. You have two options, Commander. Nilara said, her patterns now steady in royal purple. Stand down and return to the fleet with minimal consequences, or face me in traditional challenge. Traditional challenge. Lily had heard of this during her studies of Xeraxian culture. A direct combat between leaders to resolve disputes without full-scale war. Krell seemed surprised by the offer. You would risk your throne over these humans. I would defend my decision, as is my right, Nilara replied, unless you fear facing your queen in combat. The taunt had its intended effect. Krell's patterns flashed with anger. I accept your challenge, the ancient arena, the traditional weapons, no seconds, no interference. Agreed. In 3 hours on the moon's surface, neutral ground. After the communication ended, Lily turned to Nilara in shock. You can't be serious, a physical fight. It is our way, the queen said simply. A challenge to the throne must be answered personally. But the risk is necessary. Nilara moved toward her private chamber, gesturing for Lily to follow. Krell is respected among the conservatives. If I defeat him personally, others will hesitate to oppose me. If we fought fleet to fleet, the losses would be tremendous and the outcome less certain. In the Queen's chamber, Nilara began donning ceremonial battle armor assisted by attendants. The armor enhanced her already impressive form with sharp angular plates that glowed with the same patterns as her skin. With a roar that needed no translation, Nilara launched herself at Krell. Her movements now fluid, unpredictable. She no longer fought with the traditional forms, but with something new, something that caught the male commander off guard. Lily recognized some of the techniques, human military combat moves she had demonstrated to the Queen during their time together. Mixed with Xeraxian strength and agility, they created an unpredictable hybrid style that Krell could not anticipate. The Queen fainted, left drawing Krell's upper arms to block, then struck with her lower arms at points Lily recognized as nerve clusters in Xeraxian physiology. Another human tactic she'd shared with Nilara during casual discussions of their species' differences. Krell staggered, his patterns flashing with confusion and pain. Before he could recover, Nilara pressed her advantage, driving him back across the arena with a series of rapid strikes. Finally, with a move that combined a human sweep kick with a Xeraxian grappling technique, she brought the larger male crashing to the ground. In an instant, she was upon him, one blade at his throat. Yield, Commander. For a tense moment, it seemed Krell might choose death over surrender. His patterns flashed between crimson, rage, and dark blue defeat. Finally, they settled on a dull purple of submission. I yield to the Queen. He growled the words clearly, painful to speak. A cheer went up from Nilara's supporters, while Krell's witnesses remained silent, their patterns showing a mixture of disappointment and grudging respect. The elder officiating the challenge stepped forward. The challenge is resolved. Queen Nilara remains sovereign. Her decisions stand. Commander Krell, do you accept the terms of defeat? I accept, Krell said, rising slowly as Nilara stepped back. My ships and troops return to the main fleet under the Queen's command, and the alliance with Earth. Krell looked toward Lily, his 4 eyes narrowing. I will not oppose it further, though I maintain it is unprecedented. As is appropriate for unprecedented times, Nilara replied, her voice firm but not gloating. The Empire evolves, Commander. This alliance will strengthen us, not weaken us. As they returned to the shuttle, Lily stayed close to Nylara. The Queen had sustained several injuries during the battle, though none appeared life-threatening. That was reckless, Lily said quietly as they boarded. Brilliant, but reckless. Nylara's patterns showed amusement despite her pain. From a human who destroyed 3 warships with outdated fighters, that assessment means little. Back aboard the flagship, medical personnel attended to the Queen's wounds. Xeraxian healing technology, rapidly sealing cuts and mending bruised tissues as they worked. Nylara continued to issue orders ensuring Krell's ships were properly reintegrated into the fleet, and that the alliance protocols with Earth proceeded without further delay. Commander Krell will be reassigned to the outer colonies, she informed Lily as the final treatments were applied, far from Earth but in a position that honors his skills while limiting his ability to interfere. Will it be enough? Lily asked. Will others accept your victory? They must, Nylara replied. Her patterns now returned to their normal royal purple. The challenge was witnessed. The traditions were followed. Any who continue to oppose the alliance now oppose not just my decision but Xeraxian law itself. In the days that followed, news of the Queen's victory spread throughout the fleet and to the colonies. The story grew with each telling. Some said Krell had nearly defeated her. Others claimed the Queen had shown unprecedented mercy in sparing him. All agreed that the alliance with Earth now stood on firmer ground, having been defended in ancient combat. On Earth, the deployment of Xeraxian technology accelerated. Shield generators protected major cities. Food synthesizers addressed shortages. Medical ships healed the wounded and cured diseases human medicine had struggled with for centuries. 6 months after the historic agreement, Lily stood beside Queen Nylara as they addressed the United Nations General Assembly. The hall was packed with representatives from all nations, as well as Xeraxian delegates. The trial period has concluded, Secretary General Walsh announced. The Security Council has reviewed the terms of our alliance and the results of the technology transfers. A murmur ran through the crowd. Lily could sense the anticipation. Nylara beside her remained composed, her patterns steady and confident. We have voted unanimously to continue and expand the alliance with the Xeraxian Empire, Walsh declared. Applause erupted from the human representatives. Even the Xeraxian delegates showed approval, their patterns brightening with what Lily had learned to recognize as satisfaction. Nylara stepped forward. The Empire accepts your decision. We too vote to continue this unprecedented partnership. Our scientists have already begun collaborative projects with human researchers. Our military advisors work with your defense forces, and our cultural exchange programs grow daily. The formal proceedings continued with details of new initiatives, joint ventures, expanded technology, transfers. But Lily's attention was drawn to the changes she could already see. Throughout the chamber, humans and Xeraxians interacted with growing ease. The initial fear and hostility had given way to cautious respect, and in some cases, genuine friendship. Later, that evening, a reception was held at what had once been the Palais des Nations, now serving as the headquarters for human-Xeraxian relations. Lily, wearing a formal version of her advisor uniform, moved through the crowd speaking with diplomats, military officers, and scientists from both species. She found Nylara on a balcony overlooking the lake. The Queen's patterns were set to a gentle blue that Lily had come to associate with contemplation. Quite a change from a year ago, Lily commented, joining her at the railing. When your fleet first appeared in our skies? Indeed, Nylara agreed. Though I suspect neither of us could have predicted this outcome, a successful alliance, that and more. The Queen turned to face Lily. Your species continues to surprise me. Even now I see human influences changing my people. Xeraxians beginning to adopt concepts like art for pleasure's sake, music without mathematical precision, relationships based on preference rather than genetic optimization. Is that bad? It is evolution, Nylara replied. Something the Empire has resisted for too long. We conquered, we collected resources, we expanded, but we did not grow. Not truly. A comfortable silence fell between them as they looked out over the city lights. Reflecting on the lake, Lily found herself studying the Queen's profile, now familiar yet still alien. The elegant head crest, the four eyes that could focus independently, or together the patterns that shifted with her emotions. I have been queen for 700 cycles, Nylara said suddenly. In that time, I have made thousands of decisions, led countless conquests, negotiated hundreds of surrenders, but none will define my reign as this alliance will. For the better, I hope, without doubt. The Queen turned fully to Lily, her patterns shifting to the deep violet with gold flecks that Lily had seen only rarely. The historian Zorvan once wrote that empires fall not from external attacks, but from internal stagnation. We conquered worlds, but added nothing new to ourselves, until Earth, until humans, until you. Lily Carter. Lily felt a strange warmth at the Queen's words. I just did what I thought was best for my people, as did I. Nylara replied, but in doing so, we created something neither of us anticipated. Before Lily could ask what she meant, they were interrupted by Corvin approaching with several human scientists. Your Majesty, the scientist said, excitement evident in his patterns. The human researchers have made a breakthrough in integrating our shield technology with their power systems. The efficiency increase is remarkable. Excellent news, Nylara said. This is precisely the type of collaboration I hoped for. As the scientists explained their discovery, Lily watched the interaction. The barriers between species seemed to be falling rapidly, the initial fear and distrust giving way to curiosity and shared purpose. In the year since the Xeraxian fleet had appeared above Earth, everything had changed. What had begun as conquest had transformed into something entirely new, something with potential neither species had imagined. That night, as Lily returned to her quarters in the joint human Xeraxian facility, she reflected on her unusual journey from commander, fighting a desperate war, to diplomat helping forge an alliance, to whatever she was now. Special advisor to an alien queen, friend to a being from another world. Her personal quarters reflected her unique position, designed primarily for human comfort, but with adaptations for Xeraxian visitors. The walls displayed art from both worlds. A statue of ancient Earth beside a crystalline Xeraxian mathematical model that was considered the height of their aesthetic tradition. A communication alert sounded. The screen's secure channel indicated a message from the Queen, Commander Carter. Nylara's image appeared life-sized in the holographic projector. I wish to inform you personally. The first joint human Xeraxian exploration vessel launches tomorrow. Its mission to seek other civilizations that might join our alliance. That's wonderful news, Lily replied, genuinely pleased. What will it be called? The ship bears a name from your culture, Nylara said, her pattern showing what Lily now recognized as Pride, Horizon. As in New Horizons, the human Captain Chen and Xeraxian Commander Velix will lead the mission. A fitting name.